Something strange is hidden deep in the DNA of the Philippines, and it's baffling scientists worldwide. It all started with a DNA study. In 2011, a team of geneticists began testing the genomes of indigenous populations across the Philippines. What they discovered was nothing short of extraordinary. Buried in the genetic code of certain tribes, especially the Ita, Ati, and Mamanwa, was a signature unlike anything seen in most of Asia. It was a trace of ancient ancestors who split from other human groups over 50,000 years ago. But here's where it gets truly bizarre. Some of these genetic patterns are far more similar to Melanesians, from Papua New Guinea and Fiji, and even to certain groups in Africa, than they are to East Asians or Southeast Asians. How could that be? To understand this, we need to go back, way back. Long before Malays, Chinese traders, or Spanish colonizers ever set foot in the archipelago, the Philippines was already home to people. These weren't migrants. These were the first settlers of Southeast Asia, direct descendants of the earliest humans to leave Africa. They're known today as Negritos, a Spanish word meaning little black people, though it's not how they describe themselves. Tribes like the Eta of Luzon, the Ati of Panay, and the Mamanwa of Mindanao still exist today. And their features, dark skin, curly hair, short stature, are unlike those of most modern Filipinos. But it's not just how they look, their DNA tells the real story. In 2010, scientists made a breakthrough. They discovered an extinct human species called the Denisovans, closely related to the Neanderthals. Their remains were found in a cave in Siberia. But here's the twist. Denisovan genes are strongest not in Russia or China but in Southeast Asia and the Pacific. And guess who carries the highest percentage of Denisovan DNA in the world? The Ada people of the Philippines. One study found that Ada individuals can have up to 5% Denisovan DNA, more than any other population on Earth. That's more than Australians, Papuans, or Indonesians. So what does this mean? It suggests that the Negrito tribes in the Philippines aren't just old. They are among the oldest surviving branches of the modern human family tree. But what about Africa? How do Filipino islanders, thousands of miles from the continent, show genetic connections to African tribes? Well, it comes down to something called deep ancestry. When early humans left Africa between 50,000 and 70,000 years ago, some of them took a southern route, along the Indian Ocean, island hopping through what's now India, Sri Lanka, the Andaman Islands, and eventually, Southeast Asia. The people who arrived in the Philippines took this route, and the Negrito groups, including the Ita and Ati, retained some of the oldest human DNA outside Africa. That's why certain mitochondrial haplogroups, markers passed down from mother to child, in these tribes show clear African signatures. It's not that they came from Africa recently, it's that they never stopped carrying the ancient genes from the very first humans who left. Now let's head east. For centuries these truths were ignored or suppressed. You might be wondering, why does any of this matter? So next time someone asks what it means to be Filipino, don't start with colonization, start with migration, start with fire, start with stars. Say you come from islanders who walked out of Africa and crossed oceans before history even began. Say you carry DNA that connects continents. Say you are part of a story that science is only just beginning to understand. And if this island group, the Eta, the Ati, the Mamanwa, is the key to unlocking humanity's lost past, then perhaps the Philippines holds more secrets still waiting to be found. Stay curious, stay proud, stay Signal.